Hey, you guys. Today I wanted to talk about different things I did in school to make my life easier with having cerebral palsy. So, for example, I found it easier to type out assignments instead of writing them out because writing either an assignment or notes really tired my hands out, and so it was written in my program plan to have me always have scribes and readers. For exams. And then when for assignments, I would write or I would type out assignments and then I would either print them off and hand them in, or I would just email them to my teacher. And I had some pretty amazing teachers in school. I am very grateful for teachers that I had who were understanding of my cerebral palsy. So they let me type out assignments because it was easier on my hands. I even in gym class, there were certain things that some of my gym teachers knew that just weren't gonna work for me. And I had, particularly in grade 8 and grade 9, I had the same gym teacher. And we had lots of conversations where if we were going to go curling, he's like, kiddo, I think you should just sit this one out. I'm like, I totally agree. I'm not gonna say no because I was gonna come talk to you about this. And so he's like, no, just, do homework or whatever. Like, I don't want you to get hurt. I said, no, I agree. Same with skating. Skating was another one that I was just like, I remember one time we were talking about skiing, and after we had the talk as a class about our skiing trip and stuff like that, I went to him and he's like, okay, we need to talk. And I said, what did I do? And he's like, nothing. But he's like, I don't think you should ski. I'm like, it's like you can read my mind because I was going to come to you and talk to you about this. He's like, I don't want you to be so sore that you're going to miss multiple gym classes. I would rather you miss one ski trip opposed to 5 or 6 gym classes. And I said, I agree 100%. I said, because you know me, that's exactly what would have happened, because the ski boots and stuff, as much as I loved skiing in school. When I was in grade 5 and 6, I loved it. But it's one of those sports or activities that I suffer for days and days and days after. So it wasn't worth it. So it was figuring out what's worth it, what's not, So, so the days that our classes would go skiing for the day, I would just take a personal day or whatever. And then, I wasn't missing 5 or 6 gym classes because of pain. And then, when weather changes would happen, there was times where I would be really sore. So I would talk to my mom and she would write a note saying, listen, we're going through a weather change right now. Can Brittany be excused from class just for the next few days, just until the weather gets better? And you know, my gym teacher in junior high was amazing. I had a couple different gym teachers in junior high, but he was my favorite because he was the one that was most understanding, but excuse me, not to the point though where it's not like he didn't want me to participate, but he knew and he could understand that there were certain activities that just were not safe for my cerebral palsy. So him and I had an understanding, and when I had like a note from my mom in regards to gym class or whatever, I always took it to him and had a conversation with him, because it was like, I know I could talk to him and it wasn't gonna be a big deal. So that was the other thing that I did in school that I just kind of had to figure out. And thankfully I had teachers that were willing to be understanding and not hold it against me or whatever, right? And then flipping back to just regular, like when I was in classes and stuff, you know, I had to prove myself. Like, you know, I wanted the regular diploma. I wanted things, so I worked hard for them. And it wasn't always easy. Like when I always loved, math was always my favorite subject in school. Like I loved math. And then when I went into high school math, it was a struggle. And I had to figure out what was going to work, you know, because it just was not making sense. I was struggling and whatnot. Thankfully, my mom helped me with homework, and we got through it and we beat the odds. I did 1 year of math prep, and then the following year and then I was able to do the math 10-3, which was amazing. At the end of grade 11, I went in to set up my goal meeting for grade 12. So I went and seen my math teacher for a second, just to see if she had marked my test. And she had asked, and I said, so how did I do? And she's like, so the teacher assistant didn't find you yesterday. I'm like, no, I just went home after my test. And she's like, okay, I gotta show you. I went in with I think I was at like 69% or something like that. Or no, it was 60%. I was at 60%. And then I finished that class with 80%. It was huge. I was so proud of myself. I had to go tell my mom, because my mom was downstairs waiting for me and waiting for our meeting to start. And I go down and my teacher comes with me, and we go and we tell my mom the news, and my mom and I are crying, and we're so proud. And because I had worked hard all semester long, excuse me, I worked hard all semester long, got the mark that I wanted, proved myself, and I knew that I was on the right track for grade 12 math. And then like the day before that, I went in, I wrote my English exam. I kind of struggled a little bit in English class with a few things. And then, sure enough, I got a great mark in English. And it was just those proud moments for me that it works and it's worth it. The hard work you put in is worth it. And so I just always have that mindset where I try to I love learning. I loved my teachers. A lot of them hold a very special place in my heart. And because I was able to do things the way that I needed to do them, whether that was typing out assignments or having a scribe, having a reader, all those things, like that is what set me up for success. And I worked hard and, but I was able to learn the way that worked for me. And I think that is a huge, huge thing, is when you have a child with disabilities or a student with disabilities, that disability could be anything from anything. But when they help you figure out, okay, well, if writing doesn't work for you, what about typing it out? And I can type like a fiend, like I can type really fast, so that worked for me. I couldn't take tests by myself because I would read the question, I'd want to write so much, but my hands would hurt so bad because I'm writing and I'm writing and I'm writing, but my points aren't getting across. And so having a scribe and being able to just tell them everything that I want written, they write it, that worked. That worked really well for me. So, and so I was grateful to have that stuff in place to help with my success. And I think for parents who have a child with a disability, if you can have things like that in place, like that is something to look into, because I had my program plan. It traveled with me from kindergarten to all the way to grade 12. And I used my supports that were in that program plan. I used those and it really helped get me as far as, getting my diploma. Getting my diploma was my goal. That was a big goal of mine. From the time I was in grade 7 to all throughout high school, I was determined. And so I did little things throughout those years. And ultimately, I got my diploma. And if you're watching this and you want to go after something, and you just don't know, maybe you need like a scribe or a reader or whatever for exams, or if you think that you can type faster than you can write, that's all stuff that you can look into. And so I just wanted to share those tips and tricks and little bit of my school journey. I can definitely do more videos like this because I think it's worth it to talk like more about. So if you guys have questions, let me know. I will gladly film more videos like this if you guys are interested. Yeah, so I just thought I would share kind of all of that. So thanks for watching, guys.